everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to learn how to use one of the most powerful debugging tools available in Vivado, the Integrated Logic Analyzer, or ILA. Instead of trying to guess what's happening inside the FPGA, the ILA lets us observe internal signals in real time while the design is actually running on the hardware. To demonstrate this, we'll build a complete data path using a 4x4 matrix keypad, convert the key pressed into its ASCII equivalent, transmit it over UART, and then capture every stage of that process with the ILA. The Integrated Logic Analyzer is essentially an oscilloscope built directly into the FPGA. Traditional oscilloscopes can only measure signals that are brought out to physical pins, but many of the most important signals in a digital design never leave the FPGA. The ILA allows us to probe those internal signals without changing the functionality of our design. After programming the FPGA, Vivado's hardware manager communicates with the ILA and displays captured waveforms, allowing us to see exactly what the hardware is doing. Our project follows a simple but complete digital data path. Everything begins with the 4x4 keypad. The keypad scanner determines which key has been pressed and outputs a 4-bit hexadecimal value. That value is passed to an ASCII conversion module, which produces the corresponding 8-bit ASCII character. The UART transmitter then serializes that byte and sends it to the PC through the Basys 3 USB UART interface. Throughout the entire process, the ILA is observing the internal signals so we can watch the data move from one module to the next. Matrix keypads work by arranging switches in rows and columns. Rather than dedicating one FPGA input to every button, the scanner drives one row low at a time while reading the column inputs. If a button is pressed, one of the columns also goes low, allowing the design to determine the exact row and column of the pressed key. After identifying the row and column, the scanner converts that location into a hexadecimal key code. For example, when I press the number 5, the scanner outputs the hexadecimal value for 5. Keys A through F are also represented using their hexadecimal values, making this mapping straightforward for digital logic. This 4-bit value becomes the input to the next stage of the design. Computers don't normally transmit the number 5 as the binary value 0101. Instead, they use standardized ASCII codes. Our ASCII converter translates the 4-bit keypad value into the correct 8-bit ASCII character. For example, the hexadecimal value 5 becomes ASCII hexadecimal 35, which represents the character 5. This is the exact byte that will be transmitted by the UART module. UART transmits data 1 bit at a time over a single wire. Each transmission begins with a start bit, followed by 8 data bits sent least significant bit first, and ends with a stop bit. In this project, we're transmitting at 115/200 baud, using the standard 8-bit data bit, no parity, and 1 stop bit format. Understanding this frame format will help us interpret the waveforms we'll capture in the ILA. Adding the ILA to a design is surprisingly simple. From the Vivado IP catalog, we add an Integrated Logic Analyzer core, specify the number of probes we want to monitor, and connect those probes to the internal signals we're interested in. After generating the bit stream and programming the FPGA, the hardware manager automatically recognizes the ILA, allowing us to trigger on events and capture internal waveforms while the hardware is running. For this project, I connected 10 different probes to the ILA. These include the keypad row and column signals, the key valid pulse, the decoded key value, the ASCII byte, the UART start signal, the UART busy flag, the UART bit counter, the UART shift register, and finally the UART transmit output. Together, these probes allow us to observe the complete flow of data through the design from beginning to end. Now let's take a look at the project in Vivado. You can see the module hierarchy over here on the left. We have the top module and then 4 instantiated modules, and here's the instantiation for the ILA, which has not been filled out yet, and that's what I'll walk through here in a minute. But let's take a look at the XDC file. We have the 100 megahertz clock, a couple of LEDs used for debugging signals, and button C is a reset, and the same row and column setup that I used on the previous video with the keypad on PMOD JB, and the UART transmit line. All right, from here, let's take a look at the top, and you can see the instantiated modules here. We have a clock generator for the scan tick, the keypad scanner module, the ASCII converter module, the UART module, and the instantiation for the logic analyzer. It's simply the clock. The logic analyzer needs a clock, and then however many probes you want. You can have up to 1024 probes, and they start counting at probe 0, and you put in whatever signals that you want to probe in your design as the argument into the probe here, the probe connection. And now from here, we're going to actually add an ILA core. So we go to IP catalog, come here, search for ILA, and you'll want to select this ILA here, double click on it, Alright, once this window pops up right here, we just need to put in the number of probes. I have 10 probes. We're going to increase the sample data depth once that updates to 16384, and from here we need to go to our ports and fill out the port width based on the probes. So probe 0 is the rows, which has bit width 4. Probe 1 is the columns, which is also 4. Probe 2 is key valid, which is single digit. There's key code, which is 4 bits. Oops, 4 bits. And then this is ASCII data, which is 8 bits wide, 1, 1, and then we have 4 bits here for the UART bit index, and then ports 8 and 9. This is the UART shift register, and a single bit width for the UART transmit probe. Now, once all that is filled out, you go ahead and click OK. All right, we can go ahead and close the IP catalog, and once it's done instantiating, here we go. Now it's ready. We click generate. You can see it updating up here. Alright, once that's done and instantiated in the design, we can go ahead and open this up to take a look at the module. Okay, once that's ready to open, we can click on this Verilog module, which is our ILA, and go down, and you can see the ports. The name is ILA_0, which matches our instantiation in our top module, and also we have the clock and our 10 probes. And you can see down here the bit widths that are set for the probes. Everything is looking good. And from here, we can go ahead and we want to generate the bit stream. Alright, once the bit stream is successfully generated, you'll want to open the hardware manager and plug in and connect your FPGA if you haven't already done so. And I have the keypad connected to PMOD JB in the exact same way that was in the last keypad video. We want to auto connect. And program. Notice there's this extra file here for a debugging file. This is the ILA file. And once we program it, we'll be able to see the ILA down here. And we have this ILA window here. We want to go ahead and expand that. Go ahead and get rid of the flow manager there. And now we need to set up our trigger. And I already have it set up, but you'll want to click on the plus to add probe and add the UART start probe. And you'll want to set the operator to equals to, the radix of binary is fine, and value 1. This is our trigger. And in the settings over here on the left, you'll want to make sure that you set this to right here, 2048. And I'm going to go ahead and before I run this ILA, I'm going to go ahead and open PuTTY and connect to my port. Using 115.200 open, and that way now you can see the key pressed on PuTTY. At the same time you can see the trigger in the ILA. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, well, we'll pull this PuTTY window back up in a second. But now what I'll do is I'll press play here, and it's ready for the trigger. So I'm going to press on the keypad the number 5. And you can see our ILA picked up that key press on that trigger. And we have all these signals right here. Just to show you on PuTTY, we do have the value of 5 here through the UART. Now we can analyze these signals in here. We have keypad rows and columns. The key valid signal, which is just a very short tick right here when we pressed it. We can zoom in just a little bit more. Here's our transmit outline. Here's the ASCII data and the key code. Let's look at that. Number 5 for the key code. That's correct. And the ASCII data is 35, which is correct. And the UART is busy during this entire transmit time. We have the start bit, which takes the transmit output low. And then remember that the bits are transmitted LSB first and they're backwards. So for 5, we have 0101 if we read it the other way. But the bits are transmitted 1010, and this is 3 if we flip it around. 1100, and then the stop bit here, bringing the output line back to high. In this project, we've seen how the Vivado Integrated Logic Analyzer can be used to debug a real FPGA design without adding any external test equipment. We built a complete system that scans a keypad, converts the detected key into ASCII, transmits it over UART, and then use the ILA to observe every stage of that data path. I hope this demonstration helps show just how valuable the ILA can be during FPGA development. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next FPGA project.